Hey guys, happy Friday. It's your girl, the Brooke Ashley. How is everybody doing? We are here today for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 5, Reunion Part 1. And before we get started, I just want to ask you all, how are we feeling about Miss Bronwyn Newport? Because I'm not even going to hold y'all. This whole jewelry debacle has me scratching my head. And Bronwyn, you told several different stories because you switched up your story in the clubhouse because you were on Watch What Happens Live right after. And Miss Mamas, they have the receipts of you on what is it, the Nick Vial podcast, where you're saying that you did buy the necklace and now it's I never purchased anything. So, let me not jump ahead, y'all, but we're gonna get right on into it. But Miss Bronwyn, I'm not gonna hold you, Miss Mamas. You're looking real funny in the light. Now, Miss Lisa Barlow, I will be getting on you next because I don't understand why you can't just apologize and move on. It's giving very much Kyle Richards, but again, let me not jump ahead. Y'all, without further ado, let us get right on into the things because we don't have a minute to spare. How is everybody doing? I hope y'all are doing well. Love y'all down. Okay, so let's just start off with the fashions first and foremost. My humble opinion, I thought that Angie was the best dressed. I love that gown. The pink, that was chef's kiss. She did that. First runner up would be, I thought this was Heather's best look. It was simple, but that was her best look to date. And I also thought that Whitney looked good. Honorable mention, I thought that Bronwyn's dress did not do her any favors. And I know it's not just me. Bronwyn is the epitome of, yes, you can have all the money, but it does not equate to having a good eye, because I find a lot of the things that Bronwyn wears to be very unflattering. And I'm thinking in my head, it makes her look really granny. Like, I don't know. But I didn't love the gown on her. Let me know what you guys think. I also felt like Mary, I love her dress was pretty. It reminded me of like a choir robe though. I feel like we've seen it before. Also, Lisa's look felt like it was like undone. I don't know. Like it just felt like something was missing with Lisa's dress. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Yeah, you thought that Bronwyn's dress was unflattering. She needs to edit and not just what she says. Mary was necklace. Yeah. Bronwyn's has good vision, but poor execution. Lisa looked basic. Mary's look was giving firebender. Oh, I'm screaming. She was very couture. Mary was a hot mess. Y'all have me screaming. Yeah, I felt like Bronwyn's dress, I don't know if it was like the sleeves and then it was also I don't know. Like Bronwyn's dress, like I didn't love it on her. I just felt like it wasn't flattering. Maybe that's just me. But yeah, Angie for me, like she was it. Loved her dress. She looked gorgeous. Meredith, I didn't love the gown, but I did love the hair, the makeup. She ate that, right? Yes, the clothes are wearing her. Yes, 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 yes. I agree with that. Now, I thought that this was a good first part. I saw a few people saying that they thought that the first part was boring. They thought they wanted more. Let me know what y'all thought. But I actually thought that the first part was pretty good. Like, I wasn't mad at it. Let me know. Bronwyn has the money to buy the things, but no eye for styling. Meredith's dress was shapeless. Yeah, I guess that's what it was. Bronwyn's dress was eating her up. Meredith's dress is very outdated. Bronwyn keeps lying. Oh, we're going to talk about that. Okay, it was good to you. I needed more. It was a little boring to me. Oh, I'll say this. I think that they want the second and the third parts to be explosive. because the first part definitely like set the tone, but I wouldn't call this first part boring. I just would say that it wasn't as exciting as we all thought. So I'll say that. I thought it would be more exciting, but I wouldn't call it boring. A solid 7.5. Yes, I would give it that. I would give it that. Yes, 7.5, 7 out of 10. Yes, yes, yes. All right, y'all. So we know that Angie and Lisa are both first chair, and Whitney and Meredith are both at the end. Now, I think that the seating was correct. Whitney has been at the end for quite some time. Whitney, you were at the end where you belonged, okay? So we start off the reunion, the first part, with Andy saying, Andy greets everybody. And he says, to avoid a repeat of Mexico, we are recording you guys just in case there was any confusion. I thought that it was a cute joke. Everybody laughed. And now Andy says, he greets them one by one. He congratulates Meredith on being bat mitzvahed. He congratulates Heather on her newest book. Now, I thought it was interesting because we know that Heather's second book is being named Good Time Girl. And we know that Lisa called her that in the first season. So Andy's like, oh, are you going to give Lisa a cut of, since she came up with the title? And Heather's like, oh, no, but she did get a mention in the book. I said, Heather, the least you could do is take Lisa out for dinner. I kind of feel like if somebody gave me inspiration to what they said, and I use that as a title for my book, I would take them out. But that's just me. I give a gift basket, maybe free services at the beauty lab, a gift card. But that's just how I was raised, because I think that that's really kind of pathetic of you to sit up there and say, oh yeah, well, you gave me the idea, but I'm not going to give you anything. I'm just going to give you a mention. Girl, I don't need a mention in your book. Give me a gift card, a gift basket, something. I mean, that's just me. Okay. So now we have, Heather also lost her voice because she's on a book tour. So now Andy's joking around. He goes on to ask Lisa if she flew coach. And Lisa says, no, I flew first class, but it's so funny because everybody keeps tagging me on Instagram. They're either flying 17C or they're flying first class. So now Andy's asking Whitney how she's doing. Then Andy goes on to ask Bronwyn about Rihanna following her. And he's like, did Rihanna give you any advice? So Bronwyn says, I'm going to channel my inner Rihanna today. Now, that wasn't the question that Andy asked you. He asked, did she have any advice for you for the reunion? And all you're saying is, I'm going to channel my inner Rihanna. I'm like, girl, answer the damn question, girl. Like, okay. Okay. Oh, you said she lost her voice because of Ozempic. I'm screaming. Yes, I see Lisa is getting dragged on Twitter. I saw that. Yes, she is fighting down in the comments. Okay. So I love doing Lisa's voice. I always get sad every time SLC ends. I'm like, oh, because I love imitating her. It's the funniest thing, right? So now we have, Andy asking Mary how she's doing. He says, it was so touching watching you and Robert Jr. How is he doing? And she says, Rob Jr. is doing well, thank God. So now, we have Andy asking Angie about the dress, because come to find out, Angie and Brittany showed up to the reunion with the same gown on. So Angie says, well, I won the whole dress war, but with me, what I'm doing is good for the economy because I keep my clothes, I don't return them. So that's obvious shade to Lisa and whoever else who returns clothes in this group. So now it's time for us to start everything off. Andy points out that he is seated in between Lisa and Angie, and he says, I'm a bit worried for my ears. So when you guys go at it, can we come up with a safe word so that you guys will stop? So Lisa says, my safe word today is going to be Bezos. And Angie says, my safe word is going to be Opa, because we know that Angie is the Greek princess of SLC, okay? Yes, Angie ate down with that read, okay? Like, ate down. So Andy starts it off by asking, does anybody want to set an intention for the day? Does anybody want to clear up a relationship? So Bronwyn jumps in and said, yes, watching things back, I want to start with my own apologies today and hopefully get some. So now he goes on to ask, does anybody else want to set an intention? And now Whitney jumps in and says, I would like to be able to have a conversation with Lisa today and get to the root of where our problems lie. Now, just my opinion, chime in, let me know what you guys think. Personally, I believe that Whitney is the root of their issues because since day one, Whitney, along with her cousin Heather, have been vying for Lisa's attention and affection and validation and her friendship, right? So with all that going on, Whitney is obsessed with Lisa. I've said this. And before anybody says, oh, you're a big fan of Lisa, it's not about me being a fan of Lisa or not being a fan. I'm just calling it how I see it because I have many critiques of Lisa Barlow, be very clear. But when it comes to Whitney and Lisa, I can always point out that Whitney has a clear obsession. There is some jealousy going on when it comes to Lisa Barlow. And it's comical that Whitney's trying to pin this as, I just want to figure out what the issues are. Girl, you're the issue. You are the reason why you and Lisa are always butting heads. Just my opinion. Yes, they are fangirls for Lisa. They really are. So now, Lisa's not really here for it, but she's just like, girl, okay, like whatever. So Andy starts it off with the drama between Lisa, Angie, and Heather, that whole mix up. And now they play the montage. And now Andy goes on to ask the first question. He reads a viewer question asking Whitney, how does Whitney explain Alibaba having the same stock photos as her Prism jewelry? Now, I felt like Whitney's answer was BS. I said, girl, this makes no sense. But if this is your story, then fine. But I did not believe it. So Whitney says that the photo was there for about 48 hours as a placeholder that was sent from the vendor. And she says it's not Alibaba. They always do a photo shoot. Her partner is in Vancouver. And so they weren't able to do a photo shoot, I guess, in that span of time. So she says that picture was a placeholder for a short period of time. And then that pic was swapped out once we had a model for it. So then she reiterates that she does not have a source from Alibaba. And she says, I have a curated, fashion, affordable line because our biggest complaint is that people want to buy our jewelry, but they can't afford it. I said, girl, okay. I said, Whitney, that's a whole lot of words for a whole lot of nothing. It just felt like word salad, in my opinion, but all right. You said placeholder, that's a reach. Yeah, you said Whitney's drop shipping the end. So the vendor bought it from Alibaba. Exactly. Listen, y'all have me screaming in the chat. Y'all said, so yeah, the vendor bought it from Alibaba. Gotcha. So the jewelry's from Alibaba. It really is. Whitney made no sense. I had secondhand embarrassment watching her just fumble like that. I said, okay, girl. Yes, it was a bunch of word salad. I said, blah, blah, blah. The jewelry's from Alibaba. Now, Whitney, I don't know who's clamoring for your jewelry. So for you to say, oh, people want to buy our jewelry. Do they? Because I've never heard anybody talk about Prism jewelry. Listen, she was talking in circles because she said, well, my business partner's in Vancouver, then the photographer wasn't able to do the shoot until the model came in. I'm like, girl, that's a whole lot of words to say that the stock photo is from Alibaba, the jewelry is from Alibaba, and it is what it is. Now, also, Whitney, let's discuss how your former employees are accusing you on TikTok for one, not paying them allegedly, and then two, saying that you're running a multi-level marketing scheme on top of that, allegedly. So you and businesses, I don't know about all that, but okay. I thought Whitney was about to cry. Sounds like prison jewelry. Y'all have me screaming. It should be prison jewelry because she keeps scamming people. Nobody's buying tarnished green dreams and schemes, okay? Yes, Whitney's explanation reminded me of when Jen Shaw was describing her job, and we all know she was scamming. Whitney needs some more healing. So now, we're off of that, and Lisa jumps in and says, oh, so now Andy's like, okay, like, all right. You always know when Andy's kind of over it and he feels like you're lying, but he's not going to press it when he just moves on quickly. So he's like, okay, all right. So now he reads another viewer question to Lisa, and he says, Lisa, how did it go about like when Whitney accused you, did you end up going the distance to find evidence that you were not the one who planted the story? So Lisa's like, I lost my mind when she accused me of that because I did not do that. So Andy's like, okay, but did you go the distance? Did you find evidence? Yes or no? Lisa girl, when you're in your bag, you're in your bag, but sometimes you can be a bit long-winded. So Lisa's like, let me just hold on a minute, okay? Just hold on a minute. When Whitney said that about me, I was really pissed off because I did not do that. I did not plan a story about Whitney and her jewelry, all right? So I asked for the IP address, and she never gave me proof, and there wasn't any proof because I didn't do anything. So I'm thinking, Lisa, the fact that you couldn't just answer the question, then that means that there was no investigation to be had, because it was a simple yes or no question. Did you go the distance with your private investigator? Yes or no? That's all. The answer is you did not do it. You didn't feel like paying the money, and that's okay. So now Whitney says, well, you have his number. She's talking about Up and Adam, who's here on YouTube. And Lisa's like, I don't have anybody's number. And now Whitney says, well, your bestie does. And she's pointing to Meredith. So Andy's like, all right, girl, well, obviously no evidence was found. We can move on. So now Andy reads another viewer question asking Angie about the whole video game comment. How does she feel about Heather running her mouth to Lisa about what she said and kind of twisting up her words and making it sound worse than what it was? So Angie says, well, I know that Heather loves me. She champions me. But I was questioning where I stood with her when that happened. She goes on to say that Heather twisted up my words. And now Heather interrupts and says, I never said that you said that Lisa was a bad mom. I just said that there was a shift in Angie's character. And that's not true, Heather, because we saw the episodes. They played the tapes back. You went to Lisa and you were like, oh yeah, girl, she was, commenting on your mothering skills. She was like, oh yeah, you just sit Henry in front of that TV and he plays video games all day and all night. So yeah, girl, she was talking about you and how you're a bad mom. So you did say that. So for you to say, oh no, that's not true. All I said was there was a shift in her character, that you're not being honest. So now Lisa interjects and she's like, that is a way to say that I'm a bad mom, to say that your kid runs lawlessly and is being babysat by video games. You did call me a bad mom. So Lisa and Angie are going at it, and as they're screaming at each other, nobody can hear each other because they're talking over each other. So Andy's screaming out their safe words. He's like, Bezos, Opa, like, please, guys, like, be quiet. I can't hear you guys. You guys are talking over each other. It's enough. Did anybody catch how Mary said she needs a mute button about Lisa? We've heard Mary say that before, that Lisa is always running. She's always on go. So now Lisa goes on to say that she gave Angie a pass, and she says, look, it's a really shitty thing to say. So now Lisa says, I told Bronwyn, but I also told her that I want to address it with Angie. I don't want anybody else going to Angie with this. So now Bronwyn looks shocked, and Lisa's like, yes, Bronwyn, I told you that. Like, I did tell you. And now Bronwyn interjects and says, Bronwyn says, well, she should know that you're upset with her. So Lisa's like, oh, Bronwyn, now you want to be involved. Now you want to pipe up. So Bronwyn's talking about, oh, you want to get big with me, Lisa? Then let's get big. I can play too. Let's go. I said, oh, okay. I said, Bronwyn, who is writing your reads? Because in the finale episode, you were talking about, at your big age. I said, we all know where big age stemmed from. Okay, Black people will say big age. All right, so to hear Bronwyn talking about at your big age, I said, girl, what? I said, what Black folks are you hanging around, or are you watching the Black content creators? But yeah, girl, I was laughing when she said, you want to get big with me? Then let's get big. So now, so Bronwyn says, Lisa, at your Bezos party, you were furious with Angie for repeating a conversation to Whitney, but yet you've repeated many conversations to me. So what's the standard here? Now, listen, I have to be fair. Bronwyn clocked it. That's true. Because if we're going to talk about don't repeat what I said, then it has to go to everybody. It can't be, well, you can't do that, but I can. So I'm with Bronwyn when she's right. She was correct with that, because Lisa does open her mouth to other people about other people's issues. So Bronwyn, you get 2 points for calling Lisa out about that. So now Lisa says, I asked you not to repeat it to Angie, and now they're going back and forth. So we have Heather interjecting again, and she says, Angie, I know you, and I know your relationship. I know your relationship with Lisa, and it felt like a shift. And I'm trying to navigate this new loyalty and deep appreciation that I have with Lisa. I said, Heather, all that this is you are trying to be Lisa's best friend, and you will throw anybody under the bus just so you can have that number one spot. Also, don't act like you have some deep appreciation for Lisa. It's not that. It's a fixation. You have Lisa up on a pedestal. You and Whitney. The majority of this cast worships the ground that Lisa walks on. Let's be clear about that. And it's really sad to me that you're trying to cover this up like you just love her as a friend. No, girl, you want to be Lisa. That's the real gag of it all. Yes, it's very much teacher's pet. Very much that. I said, Heather, you need some help, because you did that. You threw Angie under the bus to be messy and to make Angie look bad, because you've always been a bit envious of the fact that Angie and Lisa were like this, and you want Angie's spot in Lisa's life. You're trying to replace Angie and be Lisa's number one. That's all this is. Yeah, everybody's obsessed with Lisa except for Mary and Meredith. But yeah, they are all obsessed with Lisa, all of them. Yep, Lisa should be very wary of Heather. She'll cut a lock of her hair in her sleep. She will. But you can't be friends with people who put you on a pedestal, though. That's not normal. It has to be equal. You can't, it doesn't work. It's not flattering. That's when people make comments like, you can't be friends somebody who's like a fan. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not to be derogatory or to be rude or to, be like, you're an asshole. No, it's like, if somebody worships you, it's never going to be even. They're going to end up resenting you. They're going to be angry that they like you that much. They put you up on a higher level. You have to be friends with people you guys are equals in thought, like lifestyles. You know what I'm saying? That people got to be happy with themselves. If somebody wants to be you, you can't be friends with somebody who wants to be you. You know how dangerous that is? That's jealousy. We're being honest. That's jealousy right there. And Lisa does need to watch out, because Heather and Whitney are both dangerous. And I'm not trying to say that Lisa is Lisa. I know a lot of you guys keep saying, I don't understand it. Lisa is so basic. I understand that. But for some reason, these ladies worship her. They like her a lot. They love what she represents. They think that she's the coolest person. It's not for us to understand. They think this about her. So even if we say, well, you guys are blind, like, I don't know what you guys are seeing, they don't care. They look at Lisa on a different level. And because of that, she is the sun, the moon, and the stars to them. And that's why that friendship with her never works out, because they get mad that they like her like that. It's a mess. It's a mess. Yeah, it's a very toxic dynamic. Yeah, we are right here, y'all. I think it's a lot going on, but at the end of the day, Heather and Whitney having that obsession with Lisa, they're never going to be able to have a true friendship because you cannot worship somebody that you want to be friends with, period. So now, where are we, right? I went off on that whole little tangent about that. Now I lost my spot in my notes. So Lisa says, forgive me, guys. Okay. So now Andy goes on to ask, where do Angie and Lisa stand today? Angie says, we were cool at the aquarium, and then at the finale, things blew up. But I do want to talk about this here because things can get misconstrued when you text on the phone or you call each other up. So I want to get this off of my chest and just talk this out here. So Andy interrupts and he's like, well, since we're speaking of phones, on Twitter, you had said that Lisa had a Park City mystery man who pays for her lip filler. So Angie says, well, I fired back because Meredith had tweeted that I was a backup dancer for Jen Shah. And now we have Meredith talking about, well, that's a fact. So Angie says, well, I don't understand why you said that because she's in jail and I'm sitting here. So Meredith says, I was asked in an interview about how I felt about your scroll. And that's why I said that whole thing about you being a backup dancer for Jen Shah. So we have Angie saying, you know, I've been solo since I was 6 years old. I've never been a backup dancer for anybody. And I'm not going to hold you guys, but this back and forth between Angie and Meredith, I was getting more and more annoyed because Angie, why are you giving what Meredith said that much power? Yes, a few years ago during the pandemic, when SLC first premiered, you and Monica and Jen Shah did a little, music video in Jen's house for WAP. It was a cute little video. It is what it is. For you to bring so much attention to that, why? I would not give Meredith that satisfaction of letting her know that bothered me, because I'm not trying to be funny, Angie, but while I like you, you've grown on me a lot. There's always been a part of you that is still very thirsty and desperate. Because let's be real. Let's call a spade a spade. How you got on this show was very thirsty. Season 3, you were Jen Shah's friend. You paid for that party for Coach Shah, and it was tacky of you to ask for that money back. You don't do that. If you offer to pay for a friend's party, you pay for the friend's party. You don't ask for anything back. That was in very poor taste. And I always side-eyed you for that. But you paid your way to be on this show. And a lot of your antics leading up to being, a full-time cast member have been thirsty. And there is a part of you, I feel like, that's a bit insecure, because even that comment at the beginning of this reunion, the first thing you said when you sat down was, well, look at that, from bench warming bitch to now I'm first chair next to Andy. That shows me right there that you're still not secure in your position on this show. You still feel like you need to prove yourself. And I just would not let Meredith and that comment get me upset like that. I would not have addressed that. I would not have brought that up, because it obviously shows that deep down inside, you still feel like that sidekick to Jen Shah. Because if you were secure, you wouldn't have brought that up. I would not give Meredith that satisfaction I would not have brought that up. I would have paid that dust. You low-key confirmed that, yes, you were thirsty, and yes, you were Jen Shah's backup. Because again, I would have paid that comment dust. I would not have brought that up. I would not give that life. But that's just me. Yeah, yes, she let Jen Shah dump a drink on her. Yup. Listen, let's talk about it. I said it in the season 3 recaps. If you go back and watch my season 3 recaps, I kept saying that. I said, this girl is thirsty. I said both Angies are thirsty, Angie Harrington and Angie K. Angie K, honey, was parched to be on this show. Yep, I kind of like Angie, but she tries too hard sometimes when she doesn't have to. Yes, she does. And I want her to let that go. Angie needs to let that go. She was a backup dancer in that video. Angie's just mad because Meredith had a good comeback. Yes, I agree with that. Yeah, I felt like we spent too much time on this argument. I was like, okay, let's get to something else. I don't know why we're talking about some old video about Jen Shah. Jen Shah's in jail. That was 5 years ago. Who cares? So now, now we get to Angie bringing up how the tweet started, and now Lisa says she had said Mazel Tov in response to Meredith's tweets about the scroll. So Angie's like, you were trying to jab at me, girl, and that's why I got on you on Twitter. So Lisa's like, girl, like I really was not being shady towards you. I was literally just trying to, I was just up there just trying to, congratulate or say whatever to Meredith. It wasn't that serious. So now Andy brings up how Angie also tweeted about Lisa's G-Wagon being repossessed in this whole exchange on Twitter a few months ago. And Lisa's like, I don't know why you would say that when there's a brand new Porsche in the driveway and we have a brand new 911 being delivered really soon, right next to my G-Wagon. So I really don't understand why my G-Wagon would be getting repossessed. I was like, all right. I said, listen, Lisa said, girl, not me. Don't do that. She said, honey, I'm big Lisa, not the little one. She said, we got a G-Wagon and 2 Porsches in the driveway. Don't do it. Lisa might be many things, but she said, my money is still good. Okay. What did Nene say? What's your status at the bank? Lisa was being shady AF. She knew what she was doing. Yeah, I didn't believe that. That was a whole lie, saying that she was just saying Mazel Tov because she's also Jewish. That was a lie. She was being shady. She saw the whole Twitter exchange between Angie and Meredith. She jumped in, was trying to be shady because she threw shade at Angie in that whole exchange. So for her to act like, I don't understand why Angie ate me up, like, stop. Lisa, you threw a rock. Don't hide your hand now. Oh, thank you. No, I love imitating Lisa. It's like the most fun ever. One of these days I'll do like a whole recap in her voice, but it's a lot. It takes a lot of breath to imitate Lisa. So Andy's like, Angie, where did you even get that piece of tea from about Lisa's G-Wagon being repossessed? So Angie's like, well, I heard it at dinner. So Heather is good and messy, honey. Heather jumps in and says, Angie, you told me that Bronwyn told you that Lisa's G-Wagon was repossessed. So you have Bronwyn looking real nervous. So Lisa's like, Bronwyn, why would you say that? So Bronwyn says, me and you weren't in a good place, and somebody sent me a snarky message, and I jokingly told Angie. Now, let me just say this, right? It's one thing if me and you get into an argument, if we fall out, one thing about me, I'm never going to lie on you. Like, if we read each other, if you really are having financial difficulty and I bring that up as a read because we don't like each other, fine. But I'm not going to go out of my way to lie on somebody and say that they're having financial difficulties when they're not. I'm never going to pull something out of my ass and say, oh yeah, that's why her car got repossessed. And that's not true. Like, I'm sorry, Bronwyn, but the way you tried to cover your ass with this lie, I said, I'm sorry, but okay, girl. I mean, I don't know why you would repeat that. And Angie, let me just clock you, because why would you repeat that knowing that that's a baseless lie? Like, you know yourself that you would have been the first one to have heard if her car did get repossessed. We all remember where we were when the news broke that Nene Leakes, that Range Rover got repossessed after season 1 wrap because they were broke. We all remember when that Range Rover got repossessed at Home Depot in the Home Depot parking lot. Okay. And Bravo had to loan her that Nissan Rogue. Remember that? She was driving around season 2 in that Nissan Rogue. We all remember that. So trust and believe that we would have heard, it would have been breaking news if her car was repossessed. We remember when Sheree's Aston Martin got repossessed because of money issues. So you're telling me that her car gets repossessed and we don't hear anything? Like, I don't know why. Like, that was so dumb to repeat, in my humble opinion. That was silly. Bronwyn's favorite line is we were not in a good place, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they had her in the Nissan Rogue in season 2. Remember that? Go back and watch season 2 of Atlanta. Remember that? She tried to hide the car and park behind a tree. Remember that? Yup. And then Kim was like, that's why she choked Kim out, because Kim was like, yeah, that's why your car got repossessed. And Nene was mad. So now Bronwyn says, well, I probably should not have said that, but I'm not the one who tweeted it to the world. So your beef is with Angie. And I said, yes, Bronwyn, Lisa's beef is with Angie, but you also deserve some smoke too when you sit up there and just tell a whole lie in the first place. Okay. So Andy's like, well, speaking of money, one of the most lavish gifts we've ever seen on Housewives is your $4 million necklace. And I thought that you would wear it to the reunion. So Bronwyn, girl, I'm not even going to lie to you, baby, but Miss Mama's, girl, you just outright lied during this segment. I had secondhand embarrassment. Your answer to Andy's question made no sense, excuse me. So Bronwyn says, well, I was thinking about wearing it because I thought that would clear up some questions. And Andy's like, what questions? So Bronwyn says, whether or not I have it, that would clear it right up. Does that make sense to anybody? Right there, I knew that something was off. I said, Bronwyn's lying. That necklace was not purchased, because what does that mean? Yeah, she changed the story right after. She sure did. She sure did. So Heather jumps in, and we know that Heather cannot stand Bronwyn, but Heather jumps in and says, I'm confused. Questioning what? Was it rented? So Bronwyn says, no, I went to their vault and I picked up a few pieces and they brought stuff to me. She says that she ended up with a pair of hoop earrings, a ring, and they made her a smaller version of the necklace that she tried on. So Heather's like, yeah, I don't get it. So Bronwyn's like, I don't understand. What don't you get? So Heather's like, I just want to know, why were there questions in the first place? So Bronwyn says, people thought, well, why would we do that on camera? So baby, there are so many layers to what just happened next. But let me just say, regardless of how messy this was, Lisa Barlow got you. Bronwyn, Lisa Barlow had her receipts. You could, however messy you want to say Lisa was for this, and she was, and Lisa, we will get on you in a few minutes, but Lisa's receipts were intact, and Bronwyn, you lied. And you told on yourself on the after show, and you told on yourself on Watch What Happens Live right after the episode. You straight up lied. Lisa interrupts and says, Emma told me that you didn't buy any of that. You didn't buy the hoop earrings, the rings, or the necklace. She said that nothing was purchased. So Bronwyn looks so guilty. And I'm like, Bronwyn, just tell the truth, girl. Just tell the truth. So Bronwyn says, wait, what? So she's like, Emma and I will talk about this. We'll take this up with each other. That's really weird that she would tell somebody what I did or didn't buy. So now Whitney's like, wait, why did you ask Lisa? And Lisa says, I didn't ask. She reached out to me. She said to me that you didn't purchase a thing and you've never even bought a thing from them. So I'm like, damn. So Bronwyn's like, that just seems really weird. So now Angie jumps in and says, that's really unprofessional. And Mary says, I would never shop with her if that's what she does. So Andy says, so let me get this straight. You did not get the $4 million necklace. You got a smaller diamond carat necklace. Bronwyn says yes. So now Angie starts asking, why would the owner reach out to you, Lisa? And Bronwyn says, no, she's not the owner. Emma just works for them. So Lisa says she just works there, and she loans Bronwyn jewelry. Bronwyn denies it. And now Lisa says she texted me out of the blue and said, why does Bronwyn keep saying that she bought the necklace? She never bought the necklace. And now they ask if she has receipts. Lisa hands over her phone to Andy and shows the text thread, and Lisa is correct. Andy's reading it like, damn, like Bronwyn's really exposed. Because he even says at one point, this isn't good. Andy reads a portion of one of the text messages, and Emma said to Lisa, she never sent the wire for the hoops and she returned them. I said, Bronwyn. I said, wait, okay. So let's start here. Emma, I'm pretty sure that you have already filed for unemployment. I hope that you are putting in applications for David Yurman, Van Cleef and Arpels, Cartier, Tiffany's. I know you're out of a job. I know you're out of a job. Lisa, so it's twofold with Lisa for me. Lisa, let me just whack you and then I'll give you your props in a few. But Lisa, you know good and damn well that you did not have to throw Emma under the bus like that. You know you messed up that lady's job by revealing that. I wish you would have just said, but you know what though? But you know what Lisa was thinking? Lisa probably thought, if I say that somebody told me this, they're going to say that I'm lying. I'm throwing that out there. So I get why Lisa said, listen, I have the receipts. I threw Emma under the bus. Because she knew that this was the only way to really pin that Bronwyn is lying. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, because it's like I feel bad because if Lisa did not give the actual receipts, then they would not have believed her. So she had to do it. But Emma, how dumb of you to put it in writing. Because I said on Twitter, I said, Emma, if I were you, I would have called Lisa up and I would have met with her in person and I would have told her, oh yeah, you know your friend Bronwyn didn't buy anything, right? And one thing about it, you would never put things in writing like that. If you want to spill some real juicy tea, you're better off saying it, because nobody can confirm or deny 100% if it's the truth, right? Right? Okay, so you guys, okay, let me just see what you guys are saying. Let me see what y'all are saying. Girl, call her out. She deserves smoke for doing this. Maybe her boss doesn't watch the show. Hopefully, if it came down to someone getting fired, I'm not going to say anything. Yeah, I agree with that. But then, you know what it is, though? These shows take over your mind, and you just want to out somebody. You just want to expose somebody, so then you stoop to this kind of level. Emma needs another profession at this point. She does. Although I believe Bronwyn did not buy anything, the jeweler should not discuss transactions. I agree. Maybe Emma already quit. Hopefully she did. Hopefully she's already at Van Cleef or somewhere else. It's Emma's fault. She shouldn't have been running her mouth. It's not Lisa's fault that Emma told Bronwyn's tea. Emma should have never got involved. I know Emma is like, why did I open my mouth? Oh my gosh. Emma needs to be working at Vita Tequila. The secrets we share at work, we never reveal who we got the tea from. Yes, like that. And that's what I'm saying. I wish that Lisa would have just said, listen, somebody I know from a trusted source that Bronwyn did not buy. I would have said it like that, because I do not want to get the salesperson in trouble. I don't want anybody to lose their job, right? So I would have said, I know for a fact you did not buy it because I was told by somebody who knows somebody that you did not purchase anything. And I have a text message saying that they never got the wire from you, whatever. I would have said it like that, right? I don't know. But then they paint you out as you're a liar and you're a hater. I don't know. I don't know, y'all. It's maybe the owner was in on it. You know what? Maybe you're right. When Bronwyn did not pull her phone out to call Emma on the spot, I knew she was lying. LOL. Yes, but listen, Bronwyn's facial expression told me that she was caught, because she told on herself, right? Because when Andy gave Lisa her phone back, did you hear how Bronwyn said, this is dastardly of her? I said, Bronwyn, you told on yourself, babe. I said, you told on yourself, babe, that Lisa's telling the truth. My other point, Bronwyn, I don't know why you couldn't just say, we ended up not purchasing the studs or the necklace. There is no shame in saying you didn't buy it. And so what if people think that maybe you guys didn't have the money or whatever? Like, who cares? Like, it's just so silly to me. And it shows that Bronwyn wants validation so badly. And on Watch What Happens Live, Bronwyn, you straight up lied. Because Andy asked you, did you end up buying the hoops and the ring and the smaller necklace? And then you say, yeah, we ended up not purchasing anything. So you didn't buy anything, but then you're on the reunion, you're at the reunion saying, well, yeah, next time, I should have worn it to show you guys. How can you show them if you didn't buy it, dummy? I just said, what is going on, Bronwyn? Bronwyn, you look crazy. I said, Bronwyn, this is such a stupid lie. It's so stupid. Why would you lie like this? I couldn't believe it. Like nobody's judging you. Nobody cares. It's not that big of a deal. Just be honest. You make yourself look worse when you lie about something so stupid. It's just so dumb. Exactly. You would have worn it if you had it in the first place. Like, are we kidding me? And then Bronwyn, I know that you really are a liar, because when you said it on Watch What Happens Live, you were talking about, it's just a bad look to be this flashy in this economy. So now you care about it looks bad to people who don't have the money because of this economy and the recession? You showed up in the first episode with a $15,000 YSL coat talking about, oh yeah, I'm one of the only 3 who has it. It's me, Rihanna, and one of the museums in Paris has the coat. You shown up in haute couture for 15 episodes straight. So now you care about people viewing you in a bad light because of the economy, and you don't want to rub it in people's faces? What are you talking about? If you cared so much about, I don't want to rub it in people's faces that I'm doing so well and other people are struggling and can't buy groceries, you wouldn't have been on this show then. You will not sit up here and play in my face like this, Bronwyn. I won't have it. That was just the dumbest thing. I said, you're caught because you're lying. I couldn't believe you. There was no reason for all this, in my opinion. It was just so silly. I said, girl, I don't want to hear anything about the economy and inflation. You straight up lied. You were caught. Just saying we didn't buy anything. Lisa was right. It's just so stupid. I saw a few of y'all saying that people are dragging this. Listen, respectfully, Bronwyn should not have lied to the public about buying a necklace that she didn't buy. She's the one who dragged this whole thing out. She dragged it out, so now we're dragging it out because this was a stupid to lie about. You don't have to lie. And then another thing, when she said, I got the earrings. Well, if you got the earrings, why didn't you wear the earrings there? Like, it's so silly. It was a dumb lie. So now, they're still going back and forth about that. And now Bronwyn says, well, the next time I see you, I'll be sure to wear the necklace and the earrings. So Lisa says, please do. So Bronwyn says, just like you posted your fashion show, the fashion show, your fashion show receipts, I'm going to have to post my jewelry for clarity. Bronwyn, you ended up admitting that you didn't buy anything. So what are you posting? And I know that you have other expensive jewelry, but you lied and said that you bought that jewelry that we saw in Palm Springs. So you can't post if you didn't buy it. Bronwyn, girl, I think that you're a good addition to this show, but you have some issues. And it's no shade. We've all got issues, but you got some issues with you, girl. You have an issue with lying sometimes, and it needs to stop. You got to stop with all this flip-flopping and all these lies. It's not a good look, because you started off so strong, but now towards the end, I'm just like, yeah, Bronwyn, if you come back, you need to really stop all this extra stuff, because it's not a good look. Yeah, Lisa knew. Yeah, honey, Lisa knew she had Bronwyn's number, honey. She had her number. She had the extension number. She had everything. She needs to see the lady. Yeah, that lie was just so dumb. There was no reason to lie. They're all liars, girl. Oh no, I'm not denying that. But that was just I had secondhand embarrassment watching her lie like that. That was just silly. She's going to buy a knockoff and post it online. Lisa's still crazy. Oh no, Lisa is still crazy. Like, no, let's not. I'm not forgetting that Lisa is crazy, but Bronwyn does lie. On Watch What Happens Live. So I thought she said I didn't buy that exact necklace. They made a smaller one. Yes, she said that. Andy asked her on Watch What Happens Live after the reunion went off. He asked her, so did you buy the smaller one? She says, no, we didn't buy anything. And even Andy was like, oh, so yeah, she has nothing. She doesn't have the big necklace, the smaller necklace. She doesn't have the rings, the earrings, nothing. She never bought anything. I don't see this as a big deal. Now, other stuff she's done is out of pocket, but this isn't that big of a deal. It had no effect on any of them. Oh yeah, no, it didn't have any effect on them, but I think it just shows that Bronwyn is not as squeaky clean as she claims to be. I think and also think about this though. Why lie about something so stupid? You know what I mean? It's just dumb. Like, and the thing is, like, nobody had asked her anything about it. She willingly brought this lie to us, you know? So it's like, that's what makes it worse. Child, you keep saying prison jewelry. Yes, it shows her character. Yes. It shows she's a weirdo. Y'all have me screaming. It just exposes her insecurity and materialism. Yes. Weirdo energy. Yes. Nobody was impressed about that necklace in the first place. Y'all have me screaming. Y'all keep saying prison jewelry. So now we're off of that, and now we are getting into Bronwyn and Lisa's friendship. So Andy says, Bronwyn, you recently did an interview where you said you're on a timeout with Lisa, and when was the last time that you guys spoke? So Bronwyn says it's been a little bit over a month, and Lisa co-signs on that. And now he reads a viewer question asking Bronwyn, was it disappointing for her to come on the show as Lisa's friend, for Lisa to turn on her at the end? So Bronwyn says, I feel differently now because I kept thinking that something went wrong between us all through the season. I was chasing after Lisa all season. I'm glad that Bronwyn was able to acknowledge that part because she was chasing Lisa and it was a horrible look. She says, now that I've watched the season back, I don't think that anything went wrong. It just shows me that I was unaware that we were not as close as I thought we were. I realized that I was just Lisa's social friend and I thought that we were good friends. So Andy goes on to ask Lisa, what does she think about Bronwyn's answer? So Lisa says, I enjoy Bronwyn, but it was definitely more of a social friendship. We didn't tell each other deep secrets. We weren't super embedded in each other's lives. It wasn't that deep, but I've always thought highly of her. Now, can we just pause here? I saw some people upset with Lisa's answer. And if you ask me, you can't be upset with anybody being honest about where you stand in their life. If you look at the season and you look at Lisa's treatment of Bronwyn, you could see from jump that they were social friends and that Bronwyn liked Lisa a lot more than Lisa liked Bronwyn. And in this case, I'm going to give Lisa, I guess, a pass because you can't play yourself in somebody's life. Like, never overestimate your position in anybody's life. If some people show you all the time how they feel about you through their actions, right? We don't, you know, nobody has to say, I don't really think of you as like a close friend. They let you know that with their actions. And we have friends in different categories anyway. Every friendship is not going to be a deep friendship. A lot of friendships are surface level and just, you know, we eat, shop, hang out, go to a party, whatever. And that's what it is. So I feel like, Bronwyn, you played yourself thinking that you were more important in Lisa's life when you weren't. And I'm glad that you were able to realize, hey, we're social friends. That's my bad. I have to eat that, take that L, and it is what it is. And good for Lisa for being honest about that, because so many people try to lie and placate people and say, no, we are good friends. And it's nice to have somebody say, listen, I like you. And it doesn't make you a bad person just because you're a surface friend to them. Every friendship's not that deep. So I don't think that Lisa's in the wrong for saying that we are just social friends. It wasn't more than that. You know, maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me. But yeah, I feel like, I feel like, Bronwyn, if I'm sure that you will come back next season, Bronwyn, now that you know, you heard it out of Lisa's mouth, you realize it for yourself, that you and Lisa are just social friends. It's nothing more, nothing less. It's nothing deeper than that. Act accordingly. I do not want to see or hear you come season 6 whining, crying, and slobbering about, oh my gosh, I thought we were close. I don't want to hear that. And I'm telling you right now, I will be good off of you if I hear you complaining about the same thing next season. I don't want to hear it. You know exactly what it is now. So move around and move on and focus on building other friendships with other people in this group. But I promise you right now, if any of us hear you complaining about Lisa next season, it's over. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. She should know how to play her cards now. She's been told exactly. No problem that Lisa said that. Good that Bronwyn really knows and hopefully changes. We know Lisa is a friend to no one. If you really like somebody and you find out you only have a superficial friendship, it can be hurtful. However, Lisa isn't wrong for saying so. Yeah, listen, that's the thing. You're allowed to be hurt, but other people are allowed to place you where they want to place you, and you have to act accordingly. You know, you can't force somebody to want to be your friend. You can't force a relationship, romantically or platonically. You can't force somebody to want to be their best friend. You can't force anybody in this life. So, it is what it is. I understand. Listen, I'm not saying that your feelings aren't hurt when you realize that you placed somebody in a higher place of importance than they've placed you, but you cry for a day or two, you get back up again, dust yourself off, and you move on to somebody else who actually wants to be a good friend and keep it moving. Don't wallow in self-pity. Stop forcing people to be in your life. The best thing I ever heard, this changed my whole entire life. People are allowed to not like you. People are allowed to not love you. People are allowed to not want to be in close friendship with you. You have to accept that, but you also have the right to not let that consume you and get you upset. Move along and find the people who want you. Go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated. Stop forcing people to like you. Stop forcing people to want to be your friend. Stop forcing your way into a friend group where they obviously don't like you. They don't see it for you. You cannot force people to care about you. You just can't. It's a hard reality. You cannot force people to like you, love you, treat you right, be your friend, be your lover. If they like you, they like you. If they don't, they don't. And it is what it is. So I want Bronwyn to pick up the pieces, pick up her self-esteem, and move around. I don't want to hear any more whining about Lisa. It is what it is. So now Lisa, so Lisa says she confirms that yes, only social friends, but she does view Bronwyn, she thinks highly of her. So now a viewer question goes to Heather, and the question reads, why didn't Heather give Bronwyn a chance? And does she regret treating Bronwyn the way that she did after watching the season back? So Heather says, I got a quick read on Bronwyn and I don't regret it. I'm not surprised because you could tell throughout the reunion that Heather has no intention of apologizing to Bronwyn. So I was not surprised to hear that. So now Whitney, Bronwyn and Heather do get into it for a little bit, and now Whitney interrupts, and she's like, Bronwyn, may I ask you something? Because watching the season back, you always say that nobody was there for you, but I was. And then she says, Bronwyn, you don't claim me publicly as a friend. And Bronwyn says, I understand that. That's true. Because I place Lisa on a higher pedestal than the others, than everybody else in this group. Again, I'm happy that Bronwyn is able to admit to herself and to the group that she's placed Lisa on the highest of pedestals, and it's been all about Lisa. And I really hope and pray for Bronwyn's self-esteem and her mental capacity that she stops doing it. But I was happy to hear her admit that out loud, because we already knew that. Oh, you guys are in rare form in this chat. Oh, the shade about Lisa. Lord have mercy. Oh, you said Bronwyn is always the victim. Call it out. Whitney wants to be Bronwyn's friend. Yes. Heather is stuck in high school and is pitiful. Yes. Oh, absolutely. They're all stuck in high school. Her, Whitney, and Bronwyn, they're all stuck in high school. And so is Angie, low-key. Lisa brought her on the show, so that makes sense. Yes, I think that, yes, people do expect a level of loyalty to who brought them on the show, but we know how these shows work, and we know that a lot of times the person who brought you on the show will turn on you like that, Heather doesn't need Bronwyn yet. Let's see how she kisses her ish in a season or two. I mean, honestly, Lisa brought her on, so it's not crazy to want to have some sort of loyalty to her. No, yes, I agree with that. I agree. But I still feel like Bronwyn played herself by running after Lisa the entire season and not building stronger bonds with anybody else. Just my humble opinion. Let me read some super chats. Hi, Libra Baddie 717. Thank you for the super chat. Hi, Brooke. Hi, how are you? I'm happy you're in the chat. I hope you're having a good time. Hey, Candace Hall. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. I can't remember how long they've known each other. Lisa and Bronwyn said they've known each other for 7 years. Hey, Liberia Rose. Thank you for the super chat. Bronwyn may be just as unstable as Brynn and Mia. There are some similarities. We're going to be talking about New York on Sunday, this Sunday at 3 p.m. Be there. That's going to be a good live. Not a single woman on that couch likes Lisa Barlow, but she has been consistently the fan favorite. Mary is the only one who doesn't care. Liberia Rose, you are correct. I think that Mary's in her own world, right? And let's be for real. Mary views the majority of these women as her co-workers. So she does not care about trying to befriend anybody else. Her and Angie are friends. That's all that matters to her. She's here for the fame, getting her check, and that's it. So Mary is on a different level. She doesn't care about Lisa. So Lisa is never going to be a factor to her. Lisa is a non-factor to Mary. But I think that there is probably some resentment at Lisa being one of the fan favorite of the show. And did you guys notice that Lisa Barlow got the Kerastase commercial during the commercials? I was like, baby, you can say what you want, but Lisa collects her bags, honey. Lisa collects those endorsements. Wendy's, Diet Coke, and now Kerastase. Say what you want, honey, but she said, repossessed G-Wagon wear. These checks are clearing. Hey, Isa2, thank you for the super chat. I wonder if Mary will reveal who did not call her after the episode regarding her son on part 2. I think it might be Lisa. Yeah, I think it might be Lisa too. I think Lisa probably didn't call her. Maybe did. Oh no, her and Meredith were kind of beefing. No, they patched up their issues. So yeah, Lisa probably didn't call her, because remember though, Lisa and Mary got into that really bad fight during camp day, which production cut out because allegedly Mary called Lisa's son a slur, and Lisa said that Rob Jr. was a you know what, rhymes with funky. She called him that in relation to him being on substances. So I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Lisa did not call Mary after the whole thing went down. Hey, Timmy Beats, thank you for the super chat. Catching my first live. Keep up the Lord's work. Thank you. I'm trying. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining in. Oh, okay. Mary already said on Watch What Happens Live that Lisa is the only one who did not call her. Oh, okay. So we have our answer then. I'm sure that she'll probably address Lisa for that. Lisa will probably cry and make an excuse about they weren't in a good place. I can see that happening. No, she didn't. No, she called him. It rhymes. It rhymes with funky. It's with the J. Like, you know what you call somebody who's on substances? She called him that allegedly, and that's when Mary called her son a slur. That you can read it. You can Google it. But yeah, it was a mess. So now. So we're on to Heather. Okay, so Andy reads another viewer question asking about Heather being upset that Bronwyn wanted to patch things up before Palm Springs. And they ask her, can she blame Bronwyn for not inviting her? Because who would invite somebody on a trip that they're not on good terms with? Heather was on some BS because she's talking about, well, it was a move because it was a couple's trip and I was never invited and I was there to sing for my supper. Heather, just be honest. You wanted to have an issue with Bronwyn because I still feel how I feel that when you came to Bronwyn's house that day, you were so rude and nasty and you were not trying to mend things or patch things up. You wanted to cause a fight. And like the viewer question read, I don't know anybody who would invite somebody who insulted them in their own home on a trip. So for you to play victim here, that's ridiculous. Hi, Candace Hall. Yes, I got your super chat. I said your name. I shouted you out. Thank you again for the super chat. Thank you. Yep, Heather was rude and won't admit it. That's exactly what it is. So, Bronwyn's like, does anybody else think that I did that? So now, because Heather goes on to say that, why would you want to create fractures in friendships? So Bronwyn's like, does anybody else in this group think that I did that? So nobody else answers. And Heather says, it doesn't matter what you think. That's what happened. Again, Heather, that's not what happened. You want to spin things and you want to spin things to make Bronwyn look bad, but that's not what happened. And you know it. You just don't have the decency to just apologize and admit that you were being bitchy to Bronwyn for no reason. That's all it is. So now Andy goes on to ask Whitney's point of view on what she thinks about Heather and Bronwyn. And Whitney plays it safe. She's straddling the fence and she says, listen, I know Heather so well, but you can tell that Bronwyn was trying. I see both sides. I said, Whitney, please be quiet. That was such a weak answer. So now Andy reads a viewer question, and baby, this viewer was savage. So the viewer says to Heather, I think that this weight loss has gone to your head. You've been a lot meaner. And Heather was so shocked. She was like, oh, like what? Like, I can't believe that. So Heather's like, well, that's an interesting read because when I was big, I was the underdog and this show strips you of your confidence. She goes on to say that she was a lot meaner before. I said, girl, stop. Because you let Jen Shah curse you out. Jen Shah was in your face like this in the first 2 seasons. Jen Shah called you a see you next Tuesday. She said that you look like Shrek. Baby, that woman called you ugly in so many different ways, and you sat there and took it. You were crying for her friendship, Lisa's friendship. So for you to say that you were meaner before, no, ma'am. You were living out your high school fantasy this season. You were finally in your opinion, because on the after show, you said, yeah, because, we're the bombshells. I said, girl, what? I said, oh, okay, Heather. I said, all right, Heather, interesting. But baby, you were feeling yourself. And just admit it. Just admit it. This show stripped Heather of her confidence and not her botched plastic surgery. Child, you guys had me screaming. Heather lost her weight and her voice, but she kept her meanness. Heather slimmed down, but her head has gotten bigger and bigger, and she's changed since season 1. It's obvious. Yes, thank you. For her to sit up there and deny that, I couldn't believe that. I just said, Heather, stop. Baby, Jen Shah used to wear Heather out. If you did not watch the earlier seasons of Salt Lake City, go back and watch it, because when I tell you Heather, it is night and day. And I'm not talking about her appearance being night and day. I'm talking about her attitude. She was all meek and mild and all that. Oh, I'm just this former Mormon girl, and I'm just so nice and sweet. And stop, please. And she is real nasty now. Hey, DM Rocks, thank you for the super chat. It's time for production to break up this trio of Heather, Lisa, and Meredith. Also, the fact is that Heather is getting a spinoff for her lab. Oh, really? They're trying to give like a Vanderpump Rules tea. Oh, Heather's going to be even more insufferable if she has her own spinoff show and she's on SLC. Oh my gosh. She's going to think that she is, oh my God, baby, that head is going to be even more swole. Thank you for the super chat, DM Rocks, and for that tea. I had no idea. Hey, Candace Holt, thank you for the super chat. You are so real. Thank you. Been watching since the beginning. You be having me laughing my A off. Thank you. I tried. Thank you. You said Heather is still on that low rank stuff. Oh my gosh. Heather is going to be the new LVP. Yes. Let her head get big. She'll act even more of a fool and telling herself, yes, very much so, honey. Child, listen. Barlow gonna be livid if Heather gets her own spinoff. You have to understand, with a lot of these Mormon women, in my opinion, they never really had a chance to have an identity outside of their husband and kids. You're right. No, that is 100% correct. They are finding themselves out now. Yeah, no, you're right about that. You are 110% correct. That's true. That's why they're doing all that now. Brooke, the way I see it is she went from being the black sheep to now the fame in her head, because probably she was told she would not be anything after leaving the Mormon church. You're right. No, you guys are right. I will never argue. When you guys are right, you're right. The Starless getting a spinoff. Give us back Candy and the Gang. Who asked for a Beauty Lab spinoff? Oh my gosh. I just feel like Heather, I don't believe that's some bull for Heather to say that she was meaner in the earlier seasons. I don't believe that. She took a lot of mess from Jen Shah. Jen Shah punched you in the eye and you lied about it for a year. You said that somebody in production went upside your head. Then you said that you banged your head on the faucet when you were washing your face. Then you said that you must have hit it in the door. The door hit you because you were drunk. You came up with lie after lie after lie. You could have gotten somebody fired. You could have gotten the show canceled due to your lie. But yet you want to say that you were meaner? If you were so mean, you would have punched Jen right back out for hitting you. So again, Heather, miss me with all that stuff about, I was meaner before. No, you weren't. Stop. So now, Mary jumps in and she says Heather's different. She likes herself more. She's pouring more love into herself. When I first met her, she was unhappy, climbing out of a really deep and dark place, but she's more self-assured now. So Heather gets emotional and says that she has confidence now to do the show, and she's happy and proud of herself. I'm sorry, I wasn't buying this whole, poor me, poor Heather, I finally found my voice. I don't want to hear it, because Heather, you've been very vocal since the beginning. So for you to say that, you're finally finding your voice now, that's a lie. So now we switch gears, and now this is the most heated part of the reunion. We get on to Lisa knowing Bronwyn's daughter's Gwen's paternal grandparents. So Andy reads a viewer question asking Bronwyn, when she found out that Lisa knew Gwen's grandparents, did she intend to reveal that on the show? Bronwyn says, no, I didn't. And now Andy goes on to ask Lisa about how she, about knowing Gwen's dad. And Lisa says, I knew him loosely, but I'm friends with his parents. So Lisa says that she would go to his mother's house and she would see a picture of him. And now Bronwyn gets emotional. So Bronwyn shares that she had never even shown a picture of her baby's father to Todd. She had only shown him a picture just recently until all this mess came out. So Bronwyn says to Lisa, when I told you this, I felt like our friendship was falling apart, and I felt like I was confiding in you and letting you in such a big way. And to hear your responses, it felt like you were defending Gwen's grandparents. So Lisa's like, no, it's the after show that you're talking about. And they play the after show clips where Lisa says in the after show, and mind you, this was so controversial that Bravo's YouTube channel ended up pulling the clip of what Lisa said, right? But we see the clip of Lisa saying that when she spoke to the grandparents, they had told her that they were told that Bronwyn had a miscarriage. So Lisa says, we filmed the after show after the show, and I went off talking innocently about my friend, and I also feel for them too. So now Lisa says, I hurt for all of you guys, and here come the tears, but I'm just amazed at how you can cry without tears coming out, but okay. Now, may I just point this out? Does anybody else feel like there's some fear about the grandparents? Because Lisa saying at one point, it's not about what they have, it's not about their accomplishments, it's about their hearts. And I said, what a really strange thing to say about deadbeat grandparents. And all throughout the conversation, I kept feeling like Lisa must be so enamored with who these people are. I get the impression that even Bronwyn is afraid to talk about them because they might be very powerful people, either in the Mormon community or maybe in the business world. It's clear that Bronwyn's baby's father's family has some money and some esteem, because the way they both talk about the grandparents, it was really weird. Yes, Lisa was crying for herself and nobody else. I agree with that. It was very weird. I thought that was kind of strange when she said, it's not about their accomplishments, it's about their hearts. I said, girl, who's talking about what they have? And Lisa, girl, is there anything else in your brain? Because, girl, I understand. I love designer too. I love, a cute little shopping spree at Neiman's or Saks fills my soul up too. Okay, I get it. I love it. But it's not the end all be all. And like, you can't take any of this with you when you go. So for you to, it's like all you can talk about is just things 24/7. It's like, oh my gosh, like, do you have anything else in your head? It's like it's all about shopping, things, what somebody has. It's a really sad way to live. It's like, oh my God, it has to be more to talk about than just that. So Bronwyn says, that's not what happened. We were at the massage place and you said you talked to his mother and she told you that she thought that I had a miscarriage. We see the unseen footage of their conversation when they were at the foot massage parlor. And Bronwyn says, I had to ask production to not play those clips. And then she says, I had to be very careful what was said about these people. So I'm like, there's definitely some fear going on. And my whole thing is, for me, I'm just not somebody who's going to operate off of fear. I know some very powerful people. How I grew up, my upbringing, I know a lot of powerful people. If somebody's done me wrong, I'm not somebody who's afraid of, oh, because they have so much. I don't operate like that. So I'll be damned if I'm sitting there trying to protect them and say, oh, they're powerful people, so I don't want to, I don't want to just say anything. If you're a deadbeat, you're a deadbeat. And how I just didn't, I hated how they were like, it was just weird to me. They were like talking around in circles. Even Bronwyn was, it was strange. But Bronwyn says, you knew what was going on the after show, and repeating that I faked a miscarriage. So now Lisa interrupts and says, I never said that. I was just saying that Gwen's father has passed away. And now Lisa gives us some theatrics, and she's like, I'm in a lose-lose situation, okay? Like, I just can't win here, because it's like, I care about you guys, but I also care about them too. Like, I just can't win in this situation. And I'm like, Lisa, it's not about you. What are you talking about? Lisa kept saying, I just feel so bad for myself, and, I'm in between, I'm in the middle. Baby, nobody gives a damn about how you feel about you being in the middle. Like, what? Lisa kept bringing it back on herself. I was done. If Lisa is so close to the family, why can't she be neutral? It's giving that this family has given Lisa some money, or they have a hookup where maybe they take her on vacations or something, because her allegiance to them is very troubling. Lisa was crying because she can't apologize. Yes. So now Lisa says, I wish I never said a word. I wish I never brought their names up. And then she goes and she tries to blame Bronwyn, and she says, you've said horrible things too. I'm like, Lisa, why are you now trying to make Bronwyn out to be the victim, the villain? All you need to say here is, I'm sorry, Bronwyn, and for your daughter, Gwen, what you're going through. I'm sorry for saying what I said on the after show about the whole miscarriage rumor. I apologize, and let's end this. This whole back and forth went on for a good, it was the majority of this reunion. And I was so over it, because Lisa kept centering herself. It's not about you. You're not the victim here. This is about Bronwyn and her daughter. What aren't you understanding? And Lisa kept repeating, I'm just in a lose-lose situation. I can't win. I'm in between both families. Like, y'all, it reminded me so much of Kyle in this last episode, where Kyle is centering herself like she's the victim when it comes to her and Dorit. She said, I'm sorry if I hurt Gwen. Yes, I noticed that too. Yep, even Heather told her to just apologize. She sure did. She sure did. Lisa and Kyle are twin flames. I sense there's more to this story regarding Bronwyn's father. Let me read that. Regarding Bronwyn's father, called the paternal grandparents that could do damage. Yeah, I think so too. Deflecting accountability. Lisa's Twitter meltdown was epic. Yeah, it was. I mean, Lisa is still spiraling. And on TikTok, Lisa is, so because you have people on TikTok who do 5-minute recaps of the shows, right? And somebody was calling out Lisa, and she's under the comments going nuts. I'm like, Lisa, just let it go. You were wrong. Move on from it. And what really kills me is how thin-skinned these ladies are. You guys sign up to be on these shows, and then you get mad when somebody says something about you. Either get off the show or develop a thick skin. It's ridiculous. So Bronwyn says, you could at least say, I'm sorry about my daughter. So Lisa's like, here's where we struggle at, because you always say you should say this and I don't need options. It's a very complicated situation for all of us to be in. I said, Lisa, the way you holler and scream about your children, just apologize, because this is a very sensitive situation for her daughter, Gwen. You claim that as a mother, you understand other mothers and what they're going through. Then why can't you understand the pain that Bronwyn is in right now? And for you to get mad at Bronwyn, I'm sorry, Lisa, you were out of order for this. You were out of order. So now Meredith is like, Lisa, do you feel badly that Gwen and Bronwyn feel badly? So Lisa still can't just say, I'm sorry. She's still going on and on. And she's like, then finally she says, I would never want to hurt Bronwyn or Gwen. I understand the magnitude. It's a very heavy weight. Then she says, two people who could have a great future together. I feel like they have two very different experiences. And if they talked it out, they could figure it out. Lisa, if you don't just apologize, then I know something. Why are we going around and around the mulberry bush to just say, I'm sorry, I put my foot in my mouth, I apologize? Why is that so hard? And for you to act like this is a difference of opinion and if they just sat down and talked about it, they'd be good. That's not what this is. This is a family who shunned their granddaughter because she was born out of wedlock. They have not been there for their granddaughter. They called Bronwyn everything but a child of God because she had Gwen. They told her to give the baby up. They have not been in that child's life for 18 years. How can you forgive that? You don't just get over that. For you to say, oh, they just sat down and talked about it? No. Why are you giving deadbeats grace? Is everything okay at home? They are in the wrong. There's nothing about their hurt to, no, they are deadbeats. I have no sympathy for deadbeats. That's disgusting. And the fact that you have so much grace for them, you have more grace for them than you do for Bronwyn and Gwen. I said, Lisa, something in the milk and clean. I'm willing to bet that the grandparents obviously give you and John some sort of money or some sort of perks, and you don't want to let that go. Because with you, it's material items and status over everything. You prefer items over people. So you'll throw a friendship under the bus any day to get closer to where you want to be. Because I don't understand how you have more grace for deadbeat grandparents than you do for Bronwyn and Gwen. That's crazy to me. It's weird. Bronwyn lies about everything, so how do we know that what's really true with what she's saying? Well, her daughter confirmed that they haven't been in her life, and I don't think that Bronwyn would lie about this. I mean, this is kind of sick to lie about. Oh, you said maybe Gwen's grandparents are part of the Barlows swinging groups and know too much? Damn. It's giving business partner. It is. Lisa knew this information from the grandparents. And was that pic of her and Jenny recent? Wait, Jenny who? Jenny, from season 2, the racist? It would have been better for Lisa to just stay out of it or not even admit she knew the grandparents. I agree. Yeah, I don't think that Bronwyn lied about any of this going on. Maybe they have stock in Vita Tequila. I miss some super chats. I don't want to miss any super chats. Let me say hello. Hey, DM Rux, thank you for the super chat. Do you know about the tea of how John and Lisa met? So apparently Lisa took John from her sister, and that's why her sister does not talk to her. Yes, Lisa said that in season 2, that yes, her older sister was dating John. No, I didn't know that her sister did not talk to her. I thought they were still cool. But yeah, Lisa did share that early on in the series. Hey, Candace Holt, thank you for the super chat. Thank you. Hey, Rita, thank you for the super chat. So excited to see the Kempire After Dark show in New York next month on the 21st, which you will be hosting. I look forward to meeting you in person, flying in from Germany just to see the show. Oh my gosh, stop it. You're flying in from Germany? Well, I cannot wait to meet you. I can't wait to take pictures with you, talk to you. So Rita, I will be looking out for you and safe travels. I'm excited to meet you. So thank you. I can't wait. Oh, by the way, If you don't know, I am hosting Kempire's Kempire After Dark live show next month, February 21st. It's always a good time. I hosted the last 2 shows in New York. We had an amazing time. So if you have not gotten your tickets yet, get your tickets. It's going to be at the Green Room 42. It's going to be a really nice night, y'all. We take pictures, we talk, we laugh. Kempire is an amazing host. You have the best time. He spills some tea. Kempire tells some of his business. He does a little bit of, it's a good time. I won't spill it for you, but it's a good time. So if you're in New York, you want to see the show, come on out. I will be there chopping it up. Always a great old time. So I can't wait to see you, Rita. I hope that you guys come out and I get to meet you guys. But yes. But yeah, it was really wild to me that Lisa has so much grace for the grandparents. So Bronwyn says she's still not remorseful. And now Andy goes on to ask Bronwyn if Gwen wants to forge a connection with the grandparents. And Bronwyn's like, look, my daughter's 18 now. It is what it is. That's on her. That's her choice to make. I want her to do what's best for her. She has to handle this the way she sees fit. So now Andy says, well, the $1 million question is, Lisa and Bronwyn, is there a path forward for the 2 of you guys? So it's silent. And Bronwyn says, you keep saying that there's hurt on both sides and that you see it on both sides. And now Lisa says, but I see where they're coming from. So now Andy even says, Lisa, she just wants you to take up for her just a little bit. And it's bad when even Andy's getting tired of your BS. And he's like, can you just say, I'm sorry? So Bronwyn says, I don't know how I can be friends with somebody who's not able to sympathize with what me and my daughter are going through. Lisa, you could have and should have kept this apology because this was such a half-assed apology. It was a non-apology. Lisa says, I'm sorry that I effed up on the daily. I feel bad for them too. Lisa, why couldn't you just say, I'm sorry? Why couldn't you just say, I'm sorry? Just say, Bronwyn, I'm sorry. I feel for you. My heart breaks for you and Gwen. That's it. For you to say, I'm sorry that I effed up on the daily. I feel bad for them too. I would have wore you out, Lisa. I would have cursed you all the way out. I mean, the things that I would have said, it would have just been 3 minutes of them bleeping it out. I would have cursed you out. That was not an apology. And you didn't even say, I'm sorry for what I did. You said, I'm sorry that I effed up. Like, oh my gosh, Lisa, I would have wore you all the way out. I couldn't believe you. I was floored at that. I said, you need help. You just really have an issue with taking accountability. Oh my, Lisa, girl. So now Andy's like, let's put a pin in that. We're done. And now we're closing out the reunion, the first part, and the husbands come out. All the husbands are there except for Rob Sr., Mary's husband. Andy goes on to ask why. And Mary says he wants no parts of this. Now we know that. Mary has said that repeatedly. Nobody's surprised. So now we see a montage of Todd and Bronwyn's marriage, and Andy reads a viewer question asking if Bronwyn was concerned about Todd being on the show due to his bluntness. So Bronwyn, now was it just me, or did it feel like Bronwyn was already nervous that Todd was there? Because it felt like she just had that energy of like, I need to make sure that he's not mad at what I say. So she's like, well, I let Todd be who he wants to be. And we have had some conversations and we have a much stronger relationship now. I don't know if I believe that, but all right. So Todd says he feels the same way. And then he throws some shade. He says, it's really interesting because in this group, the number of people who don't even know my name had a lot of things to say about me. So we know that Heather got hit with that stray because Heather was calling him another name but she had a lot to say about him. So Todd says, people have opinions, doesn't mean that they're true. We have a very strong relationship, ups and downs like everybody else. We have a great time together. And I think that people can be envious of what we've done together. Now, you know me, and you know that the minute he said people can be envious of what we have, I said, come again. I said, excuse me, sir. In the words of my girl, Dr. Wendy Osefo from Potomac, when Giselle had that reasonably shady party at her house in the driveway, and Wendy said, hating on what? Hating on this? That's exactly what I said to my TV when he said that, because not a soul is envious of what you guys have going on. And I'm going to just keep it at that. I said, excuse me? Please. Please. Woo. Delusional. So, wow. To say somebody's hating on that, that's wild. Andy says, I'm curious to know what made you guys stronger. So Bronwyn says, I tend to be sarcastic. I like to make the joke first, and it comes at Todd's expense sometimes. And he doesn't deserve that. Bronwyn, you sound like a scared little girl who is afraid of getting a spanking from their parents. Because what? Todd was rude to you on that camera. He spoke to you like you were nothing. But yet you're worried about how, you're talking about you made jokes at his expense. Okay, girl. So now Andy's like, well, that's interesting. So then he goes on to ask Todd, how do you feel? Like, is there anything that you've seen of yourself that you want to change? And Todd says, yes, I've noticed that I'm very gruff and blunt, a bit too direct, and I do want to work on that. So he says, so now Andy goes on to ask, when she joined the show, was anything off limits? So Todd says, yeah, a few things, especially when it comes to Gwen. So he says, I've been in Gwen's life the majority of her life. So bringing anything personal to her was unacceptable to me. So he brings up what Lisa said in the after show. And John Barlow gets in it because one thing about John is going to stand up for his wife, even if his wife is dead ass wrong. So John Barlow's like, well, who brought that up? And Todd says, your wife brought it up. So John says, no, she didn't. So now Andy's like, look, I don't want to rehash this again. We just got through talking about that for like a good hour. I'm done. And I said, Andy, I don't want to hear it either. So please. So now Bronwyn says, John, Todd's talking about the after show. And now Todd says, let me tell you something, Lisa. You talking about Bronwyn had a miscarriage. So now John interrupts and says, watch your tone. And now Todd says, no, you watch your tone. I said, not the husband's fighting. I said, well, come through. So that's where we end this first part. And overall, it was a solid first part. But I need for Lisa to just take ownership of something. Everything is not always somebody else's fault. She's got to grow up and stop blaming everybody and everything. The fact that we spent a good 25 minutes on that portion alone about the whole issue with the grandparents, and not one time could she offer up a sincere apology, that's alarming. Lisa, I know that you ate just a bit outing Bronwyn for the whole jewelry stuff, but this last half, you lost me. That was unacceptable. And I'm glad that Todd called you guys out. And John, you need to say something to your wife sometimes. Stop acting like Lisa is always right when she's clearly wrong. I'm happy that Todd said, listen, like Gwen, don't get it twisted. Like, even though that might not be my biological daughter, she's my daughter. So you will not sit up there and talk about anything that pertains to her. I was here for Todd. Todd got half a point for me that last minute when he said, when it came to Gwen, that was unacceptable. I was here for all of it. I was here for all of it. So yeah, guys, the first part was solid to me. I enjoyed it. I think that the second and third parts are going to be a lot juicier. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed, I love talking to you guys. I always love going live and just getting your opinions, your thoughts. Let me see if I missed any super chats. Hi, Liberia Rose. Thank you for the super chat. I think Bronwyn is sick. I don't believe her story. Wait, so you don't believe any of this about the grandparents? I don't think that Bronwyn would lie about this. And I do feel like if she were lying, somebody would have come out and exposed her for lying about this whole thing with Gwen. I don't think she's lying. I think that this is all true, in my humble opinion. Hey, Libra Baddie 717. Thank you for the super chat. Great live, Brooke. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. No, I don't think that she's lying at all. I think this is all true because this is all true. And Gwen, her daughter has even confirmed that her grandparents were not there. They were deadbeats. And she said, when she reached out to them, they were cold to her. Like, well, if you want to meet us, you can meet us if you want to. Like, they were rude to her. You'd be a sick person to lie about this. She's not lying about this. The grandparents did not reach out to Gwen yet. Yeah, no, they didn't. Well, she had to reach out to them. How do y'all not believe this when the grandparents are Mormon? Bronwyn isn't lying. No, she's not lying. The daughter said what it was. She was like, oh no, like they have like no interest. I don't even know if I want to meet them. No. Can y'all not type the family's name in the chat? Is it like Candyman or something? No, we don't know the family's name. That's the thing about it. Bronwyn hasn't said the family's name, or if they did say it, it was blurred out. So the reason why I'm saying them and the grandparents, because we don't know their names. If y'all know the grandparents' names, let me know, but I don't know it. Yep, Bronwyn also said she had production reach out to family and they declined. Why would she have production contact them people? Exactly. Yep, Bronwyn isn't lying and she's treading lightly for those trifling people. On Reddit, they are rumored to be billionaires. Okay, that's what I thought. Several people in the chat have alluded to knowing their names. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Well, I mean, feel free to drop the names here. They're not going to do anything to this chat. All right. We are protected. All right. And I know people too. So, so please, I'm not afraid of nobody. I know a bunch of people. My family is very well connected. So you would say the chat's here. We'll be just fine. Nothing's going to happen to you. Nothing's going to happen to me. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes before I end this live. I'm not worried about. No, I'm serious. I know a lot of people. Okay. If you follow me, okay, listen, this is for only 200 of y'all. Maybe 50 of y'all might remember this. This was last year. I had dropped some tea about some people that I know, or don't just put like a wave emoji in the comments. It was when I did the Orange County recap, and I was talking about how the ladies were ganging up on Heather. It was season 17. And I said some tea, and my mom was watching the live, and she called me. She said, take it down. She said, just take it down. I had said a bit too much. I said a bit too much. Okay, so it's not all y'all. This was 2 years ago. Season 17 of Orange County. I had done a live, and I took it down. Because I said something. If you remember, if you were now I'm gonna know if you lying, but yes, I remember. Yes, the ones who were saying yes, you were in the lives, but yes. But all I'm gonna say, I'm not afraid. So please, Please. And you know, maybe drop a name. I probably know Gwen's grandparents too. So drop, if you know the name, feel free to email me. If you're too afraid to drop it in the chat, email me and say, Brooke, this is the name of them. Okay. If you don't want to say it here, I don't need to know who they are. You said people in the chat claim to know everything about everything. Oh my gosh. All right. Yeah. Who gonna check us, boo? Nobody. Okay, y'all. But I'm gonna end the live here. But thank you all for joining me. I hope you guys had a great time. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Friday, great weekend. I will be back Sunday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be doing the Real Housewives of New York live. Okay, so I hope you guys tune in for that, because that's going to be a live. All right, I have a lot to say about that. But guys, I love y'all. Have a great rest of your evening, and I will see you all later. Okay, I had to put my water down to say bye to y'all. Bye, y'all. I hope you guys had fun. I didn't miss any super chats, did I? Okay, good. Didn't miss anything. All right, love you guys. I'll see you on Sunday. We'll talk then. All right, bye guys. Okay, you guys remember that live. Only 200 of you guys were in that live. So, all right. Yeah, you remember that live. You know I'm not scared.